Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is Sub-Zero Exabyte and I am shooting right back at you with another video today. Now of course we all know that sometimes we get annoyed in this game, right? I mean, we all have our differences and usually they are only short lasting and they never really get that much out of hand, right? Well, today is the day that I snapped. I am just done with it right now. Again and again I keep having these noobs finding out where I live and it is just driving me nuts. Now I have already tried training the noobs in order to make them respect me and know a thing or two about the game. Now that did not work at all, because that literally just blew up in my face. Then I have gone the complete other way around and I just started planting traps everywhere, which again just ended up blowing up in my face, taking my house with them. Then I gave the training another shot, which did not work at all. And then after that everything got pretty calm again. But then people started stealing out of my chest and that is when I went into full defense mode again and I started hiding the chests that I own just so that people cannot get to them. And as you know, if you do not know where something is, then you cannot get to it and you cannot take anything out of said thing. Now that kind of worked, but that only solved one problem. And do not get me wrong, it did actually solve the problem with people stealing stuff out of my chest, but it did not solve the problem where people were still coming into my house every other freaking day. So today I am going to be combining these two ideas of mine. One is the hiding part, and two is the house part. So since hiding the chests of mine worked out well, I have decided to go out and make my house the same way. I am just going to be building a house that is not like any other house, just so that I can make sure that I do not end up getting swatted and stuff like that ever again. Not that I have ever been swatted, but that was just metaphorically. Now we cannot just hide a house. We have to make this some kind of way where it is just going to be camouflaged really well within the environment. So we will have to make it blend in well. And what better way to do this than to just build the house inside of a rock wall? That is like the best idea that I have ever come up with right now. But first things first, I am already proud of the fact that I was able to get the idea from myself which I had applied to the chest/stealing problem. So that was a pretty awesome thing, to be honest. But I was able to apply that same idea that I used on the chest problem, and I am going to be putting it to work with the housing problem that I have got right now. But I am just hoping that once I am done with all of this right here, that I can just live here in peace again. But something is telling me that this will not work out the way that I wanted it to. It is just something that I feel coming up. I mean, that does not mean that this is a bad thing. I mean, I would rather have things go wrong while I am in the beginning stages of building this, because otherwise I would have to start all over again when I am almost done. But that is not something that I want to do right now. So I am just praying to the gods that this will actually work in one go and that I can finally have a good night of sleep again. Because the last time that I did not have an interrupted sleep is like months ago. I mean, since these guys found out that they could just storm into my realm, they just literally started taking full advantage of it and I hate it. I mean, how annoying is it when you get woken up every day at like 3 o'clock in the morning just because some noob is bashing at your door? I can honestly tell you that this is not a very fun and exciting thing to be doing, but I guess that I will just have to go through with this right now, because otherwise I will definitely never have another good night of sleep. I mean, come on. It just feels like every day is getting worse right now. I mean, I already do not get enough sleep, and you should be getting enough sleep in order for your brains to be working properly. And right now I am thinking of a way to get all of this over with. And I am on just a couple of hours of sleep and that is just not something that will work for me right now. I mean, it is the harsh truth at this point, but it is just something that I will have to cope with until everything right here has all been sorted out. And I can tell you that when the day comes, I am going to be celebrating so hard that it actually is pretty insane to myself. I mean, I am going to be excited like crazy once I am all done with this thing. And you know, maybe I will start building more kinds of these shelters all across the whole world of Minecraft, so that when people actually find me, that I can just move within the minute and just am able to escape all of that in one go. That is pretty cool, right? At least I feel like this is kind of cool. But then again, I think that I have been losing my mojo on what is cool and what is not. But that might just be me right now. I mean, I will be trying until the day that I'm done. But right now I am not done yet, so I will keep on trying right now. That is like the best thing a man can do right now. and that is help the other people around him. And I am not even kidding around right now. There is a lot of honest work in the healthcare sector, but I am not going to be talking about that because we have got to be talking about those darn noobs and what to do about them, because I am kind of running out of options right here. I mean, come on guys, what more can I actually do? I mean, there is not that much more that I can do. If they, and by they I mean the noobs, were to find out where the hidden location of my super secret invisible house is, well then I would be out of options. I mean, I would have just ended up exhausting all of my options and I would have got nowhere to go. So please, if you are a smart thinker in the comments, then please let me know some stuff that I could be doing right here in case all of this goes south as well, because I might not be able to handle all of that again. I mean, I have gotten kind of grown old to the feeling of letdown and stuff, but still it is not a nice feeling when you think that you have been doing a good job at something, but then once you start doing something it like backfires at once, and that will always feel bad no matter what there is to happen to it. So I am just going to be hoping that this invisible approach to my house actually works, otherwise, like I just said, I am going to be a dead man. Okay, maybe not a dead man because it is not like the noobs are that violent, but I am just going to be making sure that once I get this done that I'm going to go right back to bed for like a week, because right now I actually am kind of a dead man when it comes to this. I mean, there is no such thing as getting too much sleep for me right now, because right now it just feels like I am not even doing anything anymore. All day long I am just roaming around my house and stuff without a thought, and I am just so tired that I have got no idea what to go do. But then when I think that I might be able to go to bed, and the second that my head hits my pillowcase, there is another person at my door and I have got to get up again to be able to defend the fort. I mean, there is not worse feeling than this. And you might be like, well sub, you are overreacting. Well, I might be overreacting, but I just cannot stand this anymore. It just feels like I am getting crowded in my mind and I cannot handle it for one single bit right now. So once I am done with all of this, I am just going to check out for how long I can sleep in one sitting, and I am betting that it will be a very long time before I actually get back to being in an awake state. So you could kind of say that once I am done with sleeping, I am woke again, and that would be making me a woke person. That is like insane. But right now my sleep-deprived self is starting to get into something right here. Maybe building a house like this is not the best thing to do. I mean, right now I am just throwing everything on defense, but we all know that offense is the best defense. So maybe I should just be getting smart on the ways of the noob and make sure that I'm able to get behind them knowledge-wise. I will have to figure out exactly what those people do and how they operate in a non-hostile environment. Before it gets hostile, of course, because they always get hostile no matter what we do about something like that anyway. So I am just going to make sure that I'm completely read up on all of their noob strategies and their language and all of that stuff. So take some milk, sit down, and kids, get ready to learn. And the topic of today's learning with Sub-Zero Exabyte will consist out of some really cool footage of me building houses and destroying blocks while I try to get as smart as humanly possible on the noob kind, which is going to be very tricky. At least that is one of my first guesses right now. So apparently the first thing to learn is that the word noob is taken from the word newbie, which is spelled northeast WBIE. So that might not be as interesting as I thought that it would be, but at least it will kind of keep you heading into the right direction overall. Now, noob is a slang term for a novice or newcomer, or somebody inexperienced in any profession or activity. So that means that a noob is someone who is new to the game, but that is something that we already figured out on our own and we do not need Wikipedia for that. But it goes on with the following sentence: contemporary use can particularly refer to a beginner or new user of computers, often concerning internet activity, such as online gaming. So you are a noob when you are new to an online game. I mean, they could have just formulated that a lot shorter, but for some odd reason they decided to leave it that long. I mean, I am not complaining, but something is telling me that they could have done that way shorter back there. So basically my first option was not that stupid, and that was to just go ahead and teach all of those noobs how this game works. I mean, that sounds pretty decent, right? Well, wrong. Because no matter how much you teach them, they will always manage to find a way where they can just slack and they will still end up blowing up your house. But that is not something that I want to talk about right now, because that might be bringing me back into tears again. Now let me tell you this, that I'm not going to be trying the forceful way again, because that also did not work for me for one bit at all. But that is just a flow of though that I'm trying to hop like a freaking train right now. But of course there is more to a noob than just a stupid word noob. So this new little basement is about done right now. Now just a stairs. And we are basically done with that thing. So now that we have a little basement, or I must say, a little hidden basement, I can just pretty much put whatever I want down there and no one will find out about any of the stuff that I put down there until someone comes along again to blow up my house, and then they will pretty much just find me right there, and at that moment I am probably going to be sad again for another week. But that is just how this goes, I guess. At least with everything that is happening right now, I am able to keep it kind of new and fun, I guess. I mean, it is not that I like the fact that people come in and come find my new house again, but with everything that has been happening lately, and by that I mean all of the hordes of noobs and all those types of things, well, at least my life is getting more and more interesting by the day, so that is a good thing, I guess. At least it is better than sitting around all day with nothing to do but listen to Deja Entendu, which is an album by Brand New. And if you have no idea who Brand New are, well, then I would recommend you to go ahead and listen to the album Deja Entendu and you will definitely fall in love with it. It is a promise. But if you do not fall in love with it, then in that case, no backseas. But that might speak for itself, I guess. Now this hidden basement thing is almost done for right now. I mean, it is being built like a freaking bunker or something like that. We might even be able to use this as some kind of doomsday shelter or something like that. I mean, I have seen those shows on the Discovery Channel, or was it Nat Geographic? I cannot remember. At least there was a show where they had a lot of people who build these types of basement in their house or somewhere out in the woods, and they would be going to use those bunkers or basements whenever the so-called doomsday would come. Well, I guess that they have all been bamboozled because the day of doom has not come yet. But then again, I bet that everyone is thinking that those guys are crazy. But once the doomsday actually comes along, then they will have the last laugh about it. Now, of course, it would not be that much of a bad idea to be building a freaking doomsday shelter, because those things usually are hidden somewhere way down in the ground, which is like a place where no one will ever find them, which is mad decent to me. I mean, come on, that would like be the best thing ever for someone in my position. But I mean, the doomsday shelter would be a good idea, because when something happens I would be okay down there. I mean, when the doomsday would come, and we would all be dead, except for them, aka the people who actually took the time to build a doomsday shelter like that. Well, at that moment we would not even be able to have the last laugh, because we are not able to laugh about things when we are dead. I mean, it sounds pretty sad, right? But it is the harsh truth. But then again, right now I am just going to use these hiding places for my new chests, and not for some kind of doomsday preparation techniques or something like that. So that is pretty alright, I guess. At least we have some time to think about everything that might be going to happen or something. Now, of course, I could have just gone with that secret room thing that we built a couple of weeks ago, but that did not work out all too well. But keep an eye out when watching this video right now, because this might be coming in handy once upon a time. And I hope that whenever you would be needing something like this, that you are able to say that you have paid enough attention to this video to actually get something done for yourself. Now you might be asking, well, sub, what are you going to be building that is so amazing then? Well, let me tell you this real quick. A noob cannot bother you if a noob does not see you. So actually, when I started thinking of this, I actually started with a couple of things. So first things first, we need to be able to make something that will keep the noobs from seeing us. So that is when my mind instantly turned to the way that Harry Potter was able to hide himself in a lot of places. So he had his cloak of invincibility. Now I am not a scientist and I am not a magic person, so that idea got thrown out of the window pretty early, which was quite the bummer for me. So alright, as you may have seen right there, the house is done, and this house is going to allow me to just pass through life, and it will not let anyone else see me. So that is really cool. And of course no one will notice that this thing is there, because like I said, no one is going to just be running into a wall without knowing that there is some kind of house behind that wall. So that is kind of my new cover-up right now. I am just hiding in plain sight. That is why the wall/pillar on the train station in London works that well. I mean, who is going to suspect some random wall for something like that? I mean, no one is just going to take their card and run into a pillar like that. So I mean, all of those people that work in the wizarding world have got all of their secret and magic stuff figured out really well. But that is kind of all that I have got for you guys for today. I mean, it has been a good one and I have enjoyed me stay with you guys very much, but it is time for me to head back out and hope that no one finds me.